New Overwatch mid-season season 5 patch. All right, KarQ.
Surprise, it's the mid-season Summer Games patch. There's quite a bit to go through, so here we go.
Here we go.
Let's begin with the balance changes first. Orisa, a fortified buff where its damage reduction is increased from 40 to 50%. The dev comments that we are increasing the effectiveness of
so now they want an Orisa meta.
A stronger counter against team compositions that lean on crowd control. For Ramatra, he has a small buff where the Ravenous Vortex projectile now passes through enemies but is still blocked by barriers.
See, like this is like good and bad because it was kind of nice to bounce it off of somebody, because instead of like looking where you're going to throw it, you would just throw it on the person that's trying to like climb the wall or like, I don't know, like hit them. So it's like, I don't know, this could be like back and forth on either if it's like good or bad. Like I guess technically it's better if you, because now you have more like control of where it goes, but it wasn't like terrible. There was like a tank just to like, you just throw it main and it's gonna hit them and then it gets on them, or like a squishy or something, so it'd stop before instead of going past them. So yeah, so it's more consistent. Yeah,
the dev comments explain the reasoning that the Ravenous Vortex projectile hits an enemy and bounces off.
But I will say Ramatra was already kind of busted, so they're just giving Ramatra more buffs. I mean, okay, man. Okay, I mean, if you really want to, I'm okay with that. I'm a Ramatra enjoyer.
This quality of life change improves the ability's consistency and makes it easier to use against groups of enemies without fear of accidental collisions. Reinhardt is coming in with an interesting buff. His barrier field maximum health is increased from 1200 to 1400.
Yo, AceOFSpades carries in the chat. Yo, Reinhardt buffs. I mean, I don't know that I'd say 200 health is like kind of a lot, but it's still, I don't know, it doesn't like change the core problems with Ryan, but it does help I don't know, people get to like a certain position a little bit easier. But I wouldn't say it's like gonna change that much for like high level play. I think 200 extra health for on the shield helps lower ranks a lot more than it does for higher ranks, because Ryan's still gonna get punished the way he does. Because if you go against a Ryan, you just go like Ramatra and you just punch through like his shield anyway, so it doesn't really do that much. And then like usually the DPS aren't really gonna be shooting Ryan that often, or if it is, it's a Bastion, and then you're just fucked anyways because there's so many bullets. So I mean, I'm not gonna hate on it because it's a Reinhardt buff, but I don't think it's gonna change much for like Ryan becoming meta or something.
The dev comments, we are increasing Reinhardt's barrier uptime to help him better protect his allies. We'll be keeping an eye on this as we want to avoid situations where players feel like they're always shooting at barriers. As a non-Ryan player, yeah, we certainly don't want that to happen again. Wrecking Ball's quad cannons, which are his main weapon, is having its manual reload time reduced from 2 to 1.6 seconds. This does not affect the automatic reload while transformed as ball form, which is unchanged at 2.
I do like this change though, because now it's like worth it to reload outside of ball form if you don't want to like use it for movement. Because before it was like when you had to reload, there was no reason not to just go in ball form and just like roll around because it was the same cooldown. Now it's like you have the option to be like, oh, I need to get this guy killed. Okay, I'm just gonna sit in like the turret form to reload real quick to get more damage instead of just rolling around and figure out what else to do.
2 seconds. The dev comments, Wrecking Ball rarely reloads his quad cannons manually due to that automatic reload that triggers while transformed into a ball. This change makes reloading without changing forms a more viable option. I like this. Cassidy, so this isn't a balance change since it's under the bug fix section, but it's significant enough to include in this section of the video. They fixed a bug where Cassidy's magnetic grenade did not disable the following, which was Baptiste's Exo Boots, and flights for both Sigma's Gravitic Flux and Mercy's Valkyrie. So if you're playing any of those 3 heroes against Cass, beware of the nade. This is sort of a buff for Cass in those matchups.
Yo, even more magnetic grenade buffs. So yeah, dude, just honestly make it have a one-shot too. I mean, you might as well just keep on going. It makes sense to do this though, because it's like it disabled every other character's abilities, but it's like, bro, this ability was already kind of busted.
Sojourn is getting a small buff to the primary fire SMG part of her railgun. First, the number of shots to reach maximum spread is increased from 8 to 12, so that's a huge buff to its overall accuracy, and its spread is being reduced by 12%. A tighter spread is also a net buff to her accuracy. The dev comments are that we are decreasing the overall spread on the railgun primary fire to help Sojourn build energy more consistently. The increased shots before reaching maximum spread will give players more direct control over aiming the projectiles when firing in short bursts.
I think Sojourn was already kind of like strong because they did like some nerfs where to her before, and then made her like not as many people use her because she wasn't as OP anymore. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it's okay. I do like playing the Sojourn, but I'd say Sojourn is still like really strong because of like the railgun damage of hers building energy that much faster. It might be like a sleeper character that might become OP, especially against like Soldier. Soldier is really good consistent damage, but Sojourn's really good burst. So if you have more consistent with like getting the energy and just doing like a right click on a Soldier's head, something like that, I could see Sojourn being played more, but just Soldier is easier to play. So I guess we'll see the buffs that they come out.
Soldier 76 is getting 3 buffs because he's kind of fallen behind other hit scan counterparts like Ashe and Cassidy. First, his heavy pulse rifle's damage is increasing from 18 to 19 per bullet.
That's a lot, dude. One extra damage is a lot of damage because his clip is like what, 25 bullets or something. Like, dude, that's quite a lot. People don't realize like 1 point of damage increase, like that's pretty crazy about it.
Helix Rocket's explosion damage is increased from 80 to 90. For his biotic field, the healing per second is also increased from 35 to 40.
This is also huge for his like 1v1 potential against like tracers and like other like I wouldn't say it really changes that much for like Cass and Soj because they have burst damage, but I get like ones that don't have like high one-shot potential, it's a really crazy buff, especially against like for dive, like when Winston jumps on a soldier or something, like he's probably going to survive a lot more now, and that's he definitely needed like the help on survivability, but yeah, it's pretty huge.
The dev comments, one of Soldier 76's strengths is his reliable damage output, but it hasn't quite been effective enough after his last round of changes. We'd like to avoid going all the way back up to 20 damage on his primary fire since it has been proven to be too powerful in the past. So instead, we are adjusting both primary and secondary fire damage slightly. He will also be able to stay in the fight longer and support his team more effectively with extra healing from the biotic field. Symmetra, the big topic of this mid-season 5 patch, the photon projector is getting some massive buff.
Bro, I don't even know what the changes were, and we played Symmetra, and bro, she just survives everything. So I mean, I'm interested to see what the hell they actually did to this character, dude. Their whole team, 4 people were shooting at me, and we just killed their whole team. Like, dude, you just don't die.
So currently, the secondary fire deals 45 damage on impact and 45 damage explosion. So a direct hit does 90 damage, and then nearby enemies will take that 45 explosion if they're close enough. Now, both the secondary fire impact and explosion damage are being increased to 50 damage each, which allows you to 2-tap a 200 HP hero, which is a really strong buff to her damage breakpoints. She will also now regenerate up to 30 shield health per second. That's only the blue part of her HP. When the primary fire beam deals damage to barriers or enemies with shield health. In other words, it's a huge buff for Symmetra against barrier matchups like Ramatra, Reinhardt, Sigma, Winston, Zarya, and it's also a
literally everybody. I don't like this, dude. I don't like that because Symmetra already deals so much damage when she has high beam, and then now like the way you kill her fast is like you jump on her with Winston Bubble and like shield dance, and then now if she's getting health regen or like shield regen, it's like the same shit, but it's like that on top of like somebody else like healing them, like bro, you're literally gonna be invincible. Some buffs are a huge mistake, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, I could see the damage being okay, whatever, but giving DPS like lifesteal, Nah, man. Nah, man. That with how much healing is in the game and how hard it is to like, you know, actually kill people with all like the immort and all the other sustain. Like, no, I think health read, like lifesteal on characters is kind of baloney because then there's no counterplay. Reaper, you could counterplay his lifesteal with shield dancing, but now they make it with Symmetra that you outplaying them is actually a mistake because now they're just getting, you want them to shoot you instead of the shield because then they're not fucking regaining health. You know, it's just like, I think that's a dumb change.
Buff against the shield health heroes such as Sigma and Zarya again.
That's also good. That's also good points. I guess we'll see if KarQ talks about it. I'm pretty sure he will because he's really in depth with all his stuff. But yeah, if it's a shield, you still get your shield regen while being antied because it's not health. So yeah, that'd be interesting to see if that actually still goes up or not.
Ball, Symmetra, and Zenyatta. To offset these damage buffs to Symmetra, they're actually nerfing her sentry turret as its damage per second is being reduced from 40 to 25. The turret's
okay, bro, like that should definitely just die instantaneous anyways. I mean, it was annoying going around a corner and there's 3 of them and you just instantly die. So I mean, I guess it's okay, but I wouldn't say that was like this is gonna offset all the buffs that she just had.
do, however, now reveal enemy heroes to allies while dealing damage and for 1 additional second afterwards to add some utility. Big dev comments here. Symmetra is exceptionally map dependent to the point where she is oppressive in certain situations, yet ineffectual in others. The following changes increase her weapon's effectiveness while lessening some of the frustrations caused by her turrets. The photon projector primary fire, the beam, is now an even more pointed counter against certain heroes due to its conditional shield health regeneration, and the secondary fire now takes 1 less fully charged projectile to eliminate most heroes. Symmetra's turrets are especially powerful when focusing on the same target due to the combined total damage output coupled with their slowing effect. Thus, we are lowering their raw damage and angling them towards utility to make spreading them out a more viable option.
I mean, I feel like now they're just trying to give every character like, okay, I could see doing the like giving Symmetra now lifesteal and like Hanzo like sonar arrow for the team. Like, dude, they're just making every character have every single like ability, like cast, bro. When they did that magnetic grenade, literally, oh yeah, let's just have it. This disable this shit. Let's just have it still do explode damage. Let's have this. It's like there's making all these DPS characters have every single ability, and like now the other ones like just do the same shit but worse. Oh my god.
Torbjorn is receiving a similar treatment in his power shift, but nowhere near the same as Symmetra in my opinion. His Rivet Gun secondary fire, which is the shotgun, has its spread reduced from 5 to 4.5 degrees. His Overload, though, now reloads 6 ammo on use, so you can continue to pound your enemies a little longer.
That is a pretty big change. Because now it's like if against like a shield target, you would have to use like all your shots to destroy like the barrier or like their whatever shield health and stuff. And then now being able to do that just makes it so yeah, it's actually a huge DPS buff. But the turret damage, man.
Now for the turret nerfs, the damage is being reduced from 14 to 11 per shot. That's good. And its cooldown is increased from 10 to 12 seconds.
That's a huge
Dev
nerf to
comments
that.
Torbjorn's turret has a bit too much impact for little investment, so we are shifting some of its power to the rest of his kit to reward more accurate gunplay. Overload now partially reloads ammo, which guarantees that there is no downtime between activating the ability and shooting projectiles. For Kiriko,
I think that's definitely a good step in the right direction for Torb, because I know trying to play like Tracer and like squishy targets, you literally just throw the turret in the way back and it would do so much damage that you would have to like shoot the turret, go get health, and by the time you fucking come back, then there's another one there. So I think them doing that was like, it's a good nerf to Torb, and it still promotes like being good with him and not just like a easy counter to dive characters.
the healing Ofuda recovery is being reduced from 1 to 0.9 seconds. That's a buff. Dev comments that originally
Little
we
buff.
increased the Ofuda recovery time to promote more kunai usage between healing bursts. Despite that benefit, we are partially reverting that change so the primary fire feels more responsive in situations where Kiriko is pressured to focus entirely on healing. And Zenyatta, the tank main complaints have been heard. The maximum range for Discord has been reduced.
Let's go. Hey, W's in the chat, dude. Fuck this character, man. Screw this guy. This guy, most oppressive support for the most little use. This damn Discord orb, man. So yeah, you literally throw it on from like miles away. You're literally like American Sniper, dude. 20 stories back, hiding behind 3 windows, 2 corners, and then it's just like, oh, dude, I'm never finding this guy. Where the hell am I getting discorded from? So yeah, I think this is good.
From 40 to 30.
Oh no, Zen is definitely fun. It's just not fun as a tank player. So I'm gonna be way more on board with this than everybody else.
Meters, and the time to wear off the target when not in line of sight is reduced from 2 to 1.5 seconds. Devs comment, the combination of these changes will make it riskier for Zen to apply Discord and increase counterplay for the affected target. Now for the rest of the...
See, I think those changes are like good because so Zen is still really strong if played correctly. It's just you have to be a lot more like considerate of like where you're at. So I think like the damage is still there. You can counterplay Zen a lot more as a tank because now they have to play closer and have to peek more often to keep the Discord on you. You can't just like throw it and then you just hide behind, throw it, hide behind, you know? So I think those changes are good. We'll see like how it ends up being, but yeah, I think that's a solid Zen change that doesn't piss off like the Zen players or anything too much.
Patch, the current event is Summer Games with Lucio Ball Remix, and the all-new Winston's Beach Volleyball mode available to play.
Let me tell you about this volleyball mode. Just got on, try to play a couple of these matches, bro. It's so bad. I mean, dude, I don't know. Maybe the people we're playing against were just too good, but dude, the hit detection, let me tell you. I try to melee the ball, it flies right past me. So, I mean, I guess it's skill diff, but I mean, I like them putting out the events though. So that's a W. Making new events. I think it's like a good idea. Seems pretty fun, but I don't know. I did think it was like that's it didn't get me wanting to play more of it, dude. I played 2 and then I'm done.
With the new epic Doomfist skin as one of the cosmetic rewards. Finally, there's also a brand new competitive mode called Team Q, which I'm definitely playing. This is a 5-stack full group queue only and will only...
Wow, so now we need 5 friends again. 5 friends to do some Team Q, dude.
...only be available until the end of Season 5. Some notable points are that you must have 5 people. Players can group up regardless of how far apart they are in rank, so a bronze player can match up with a grandmaster. They can queue together. And finally, the last section of this patch is that you can actually skip 5 tiers of the battle pass as a Twitch drop reward from July 11th to July...
Yo, what the fuck, dude? They just hardcore buffed Widow. Yo, what the hell, KarQ? What the... Yo, what the hell is this?
Skip 5 tiers of the battle pass as a Twitch drop reward
They
from
just
July
put
11th to July 20th.
and put all the
open, lurk, or watch my stream.
better eat some fucking cornbread or something, man.
To skip some tiers if you don't have time to play but can afford to keep my stream open while you're obviously being very busy, being very productive, working or studying. If you already finished the battle pass, the tier skips carry over to Season 6. They won't add it to your prestige levels if you already finished the Season 5 battle pass, so you're good there. Anyway, see you on stream. Bye-bye.
See you on stream. Nice. Well, yep, that's all the Overwatch mid-season patch updates. Thanks for the vid, KarQ. Yeah, I think all the changes looked fine. I guess now as we play comp, we'll have to see. I don't like the Symmetra change though. I think the other ones are all right. Soldier maybe got a little too overtuned with like giving the extra like health station. I think doing damage is okay because then you can still counter it with diving him, but then you increase the little health pack thing is gonna be like a lot bigger buff than people realize with the amount of like healing with like a mercy pocket soldier. Now you put the health station, like even if you dive the soldier, like he's not gonna die. So we'll have to see how it works, you know, in the ranked play with a lot more communication, but think the other changes were good. So we'll let's see what goes on.